Hello everyone and welcome to the tutorial for Saturday Nights Alright for Fighting. This is the first Elton John tutorial that I've ever filmed after lots and lots of requests, and I finally was able to stop procrastinating the process, and we're going to get after it. So hopefully the first of many. Elton, as you know, is a hero of mine. Pretty close to the stature of Billy Joel for me. They're both very important influences on my life and on my work, so it's a real pleasure to be doing this. This song's a rocker. I thought it'd be fun to get started on a kind of a party note, and then we'll do all of his other ones later, a lot of his ballads and things. But this tune actually is not as complicated as it might sound, but it sure is fun to play. So we'll walk you through the whole thing from beginning to end, section by section, like we always do. You can refer to your video chapter list for places where you can click on the timeline there in your video to move to the next section if you feel like you've already got this down, because I always like to do plenty of repetition and slow everything down as much as possible for the folks who aren't quite as advanced. So if you pick something up and you're ready to move on, just refer to that chapter list and move forward. Otherwise, we're going to try and make this as accessible as possible. So I'm excited. I think it's time for me to stop blabbing and let's hit it. All right? See you in the next segment. Okay, well, let's get started. The first thing we're going to learn is what you can play at the very beginning, because if you listen to the recording, the first thing that happens is there's a snare drum that goes and then this guitar part comes in that goes. Okay, so let me show you what's going on here. The opening line is, you're going to start on what's a D7 chord, and this is only the right hand, so that's all the farther we're going to go, and then we'll take a look at what we play in the next chapter when you go, it's getting late, have you seen my May? It's alright. So we're going to find here's middle C. I want you to find a D above it with your thumb, and then the way I would finger it is I would put my middle finger on A and your pinky on C, like so. And then what you're going to do, see this G sharp, you're going to kind of do a little pickup note into it. You're not really holding it like so with the chord. You're not going as much as you're just kind of rolling off of this G sharp onto the A while simultaneously coming down on D and C all at the same time. So it's like, so that's kind of important. You don't have to, you could just do it here, you could just go. But if you want to add that texture that really makes it a little more authentic, you're going to want to throw in that. See what that does for the sound? Little things like that are what separates the good from the great, and they're not that hard. Okay, so there's your first chord, ba, and then you play this again. So it's 1, 2, so you play that twice, ba, ba, bum, and then you come down to a G chord, which is D, G, and B. And I would finger it like that, thumb on D, and then index and ring finger on G and B respectively. So it looks like this. Slow motion. Duh, duh, duh. And you do that, so you've got that little thing. If you're playing here, ba-da-dum, 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 da-da. So this is our tempo. Da-da-da. Okay, so if you follow these eighth notes, notice how it syncopates a little bit. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and da da da. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So we're coming in on some off beats. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 3 and so 1 and 2 and 1 and 3 and so it's really, you want to be mindful of the fact that we're syncopating this thing a little bit. 1, 2, da 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 da. Rhythmically, I think, is really more difficult than what you're doing with your hands. From there, now we form the exact same thing, only we're moving the whole thing down into C. So it's C, G, and B flat. And you're going to do your little roll off of a G flat or an F sharp into that G. So, like so. So ba ba bum, ba ba bum, ba ba bum, ba ba, and it's ba ba bum. You're moving down to this F chord, which is C, F, and A, and again I would finger it with thumb, index, and ring. So watch the rhythm. Watch what I'm doing here. I'm going to play it slow and get through that chord change. 2 and 3 and 4 and again. Oops, sorry about that. 2, 3, and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and from here we move down to what we're going to do is you're going to find octaves on these G's with your thumb and your pinky, and then you're going to play a D in the middle here with your middle finger. Okay? That's where we're headed. So watch the lick and then I'll break it down for you. Okay, so what are we doing? Well, we're playing our G, D, and G together, and it's da 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 da. See, we go to a C chord, C, E, and G. You're going to want to finger it with your index, ring, and pinky like that. Da da da. Then we play a G with our thumb. Ba. And then we play here again, and then here. So watch that real slow. Da 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 da. Even a little slower. 1. So we've gone da da da. Take a look at that again. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. Once again. 2, 3, and 4, and. See how you're using your thumb? I like to use the word toggle a lot, but I like the way it bum ba da toggle da 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 da. And there's two ways you can do it. One is da 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 da, or you can just bounce off the G ba da and just play ba da ba. Very subtle difference, but one way or the other, it's not going to be a problem. Bum ba da ba da ba. Okay, so watch the whole line a couple of times, and then it's basically a repeat of that. You repeat that line one time, or you play it once and you repeat it, and then you're ready to come in. So watch me play the whole thing in succession, how it plays out. We'll do it slow. 1 and 2 and 3 and da da. Okay, here we go once again. 1, 2, 3, and da da. Okay, now here's another tip to keep in mind. Da da da. It's almost staccato. Ba da da. Not quite staccato, but I would say, staccato is the little dot, which means you just go boom. This is more like one of these little guys underneath it. Boom. Meaning it's a quarter note, but it's accented and you come off of it quickly. You don't hold it. It's ba ba dum, ba ba dum. So try and bounce off the da 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 da. See? So that's just something to keep in mind that'll help keep the pace a little bit with it. 1, 2, 3. Watch it again. Da, da. One more time here. Okay, so that's what you're doing. Now, when you get going fast like that, sometimes, people always ask me, what are you doing? Sometimes my thumb will almost start keeping time a little bit, and it adds a little bit of, watch what's happening. And there's really not an answer for that. My thumb's just kind of coming down sometimes on off beats, almost subdividing it. Now, if you can avoid it, that I would actually try to stay away from that, because it's cleaner if you can just go. So that's kind of a bad habit of mine, but people ask me about it all the time, and frankly, there's not really a good way to teach it because it happens spontaneously. So try to focus on just playing what I've taught you. But if it's doing anything, it's doing something similar to this, what's happening in this little riff. One thing that people miss a lot of times when they're trying to fill space is that they don't understand that one note will do the trick a lot of times to add a little bit of pace to what's going on. So if you play one note with your thumb in an empty spot, and then you come right back in, if it's in rhythm well enough, if it's, on top of the beat, boy, it actually sounds like you're doing quite a bit. But again, the problem with it is that it's not very clean. It muddies things up. So sometimes I catch myself doing that. I have forgiven myself because that is my nature. The Tao tells me to forgive myself. But I would try to avoid that if you can. I think it's actually, like I said, not one of my better habits a lot of times. Especially when you're playing in a group, it's a lot better to be a little more precise. So, anyway, that is the intro. I'm going to play through it 2 more times slow, and then I'll play it 1 more time fast, and then we're going to move on to the next section. So take 1 more gander at it in slow motion, and then I'll see you after this little bit. We'll see you in the next segment. We're going to start where the singing begins. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and... More time slow, and 4, and. And at full speed. Okay, I'll see you in the next section. We're going to talk about what to do when you say it's getting late. Have you seen my maid? It's good stuff. See you there. Alright, well, let's take a look at what we do through the verses in this song. Let me play what I'm going to be teaching you how to do here. and then we'll break it down and show it to you piece by piece. We're gonna basically be teaching you how to go like this. Okay, so that'll get us to the chorus, which we'll look at in the next section. So what are we doing? Well, luckily, the left hand's pretty straightforward. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be playing octaves in the left hand, and we're going to be playing them on quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. We start out in G. So what I want you to do, here's your middle C. 1 C below that, and then the G below that is where you put your thumb. And then you're going to find an octave below that with your pinky. And you're just going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. From there, you're going to move to an F. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. From here, we move to a C. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, back to G. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. So that's the pattern, and you basically repeat it. So 1, 2, F, 2, C, 2, G. Repeat it. Now you're on G once again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2. F, C, G. And then at the end you go up to a D. And again, just 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. So it's very straightforward what's happening in the bass, and it needs to be rock solid. It sounds like that's too easy, but that's what makes the whole rest of what you're doing work. Okay, so what are we doing in the right hand? Well, we're playing a rhythm pattern. Now, I just want to take this opportunity to point out that Elton John, I'm going to give you suggestions on what to do. I'm going to give you a suggested pattern, but Elton John does not follow patterns. Elton John plays the same chords, but he is a very, very on-the-fly improvisational piano player, okay? I am never going to be able to transcribe note for note what he's playing in a song. There's no consistency. And that's not a rip on him. It's one of his strengths. And I'm kind of that way too most of the time. But he's not. I'm going to give you some rhythms that will help make this work that you can cling to. But I'm just saying that with him, if you were watching him play, he'd be going like... Well, you can't teach that, because then the next time he plays the next verse, it'll be different, you know? And that had no consistency whatsoever. The man just is all over the board, but that's how he plays. That's his signature style, okay? And I just am pointing that out to you because it's a little different. A lot of you buy my Billy Joel tutorials as well, Billy Joel certainly can play that way, but he has a different recording process. Billy has a tendency, when he's in the studio, to pick a specific part that he thinks will be best for the song and then follows it, very, very studiously. He might improv a little bit live, but for the most part, he looks at himself as part of an orchestra almost, and it's like he's got a very specific part that needs to be played for the effectiveness of the song. And with Elton, everything's kind of a piano feature, and everybody works around what he's doing. It's more of an open jam. Not saying one's better than the other, it just is. So what I'm going to have to do when I teach Elton John is basically pick something that helps create the mood of the song and teach that. But at the end of the day, if there's something that you do on accident or on purpose that's different from this and you like the sound of it, go with it. Just go with it, because if you're truly going to play in the style of Elton John, it isn't about doing anything by rote. It is about letting the moment take over. But at the same time, some of you don't have the experience or the understanding necessarily to do that, and I understand that. So I'm giving you something that you can sink your teeth into and learn that will create the mood and the atmosphere and the feel and the pace that you need. And then at that point, as you grow and evolve as a player, if you can add your own thing to it, that really is very much in the spirit of what Elton does. So I just wanted to point that out, and we'll move on. So what am I doing in the right hand? Well, we're going to be using pretty wide chords here. We're going to be playing like octave chords is what I call them. So we're starting on a G chord, play a G and a D and a G like that. And we're going to leave the third out of it right now. We're just going to focus on 1, 5, 1. Why is that? Because we're going to be, it's called a power chord. Okay, power chord. So G, D, it's just the 1, the 5, and the 1, like so. And our rhythm is ba-da, ba-ba-da. Ba ba da 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 ba ba da. Again, we're doing a lot of syncopating. 1, 2, 3, and. So it's kind of a, if you're going to subdivide it out, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and so we keep coming in on ands. 1 and 2 and 3 and 3 and so kind of keep that in mind. We'll play it slow and help try and make all that make sense. And in a little bit, I'll show you a way after we've got the notes down how you can kind of get that rhythm worked out in your mind. Okay, but let's start here. So you're on this G D G power chord, and it's just da 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 da. Now what you can do, and what I would recommend that you do, is da da 1. You play it 1, 2, and then I would play a C chord, G, C, E, and G like that. Ba bum ba ba da. So G G C C G. One, two, three, four. Bum, 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 ba, bum, bum. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. down from there to an F chord, an F power chord, F, C, and F. Bum, bum. And then your little chord in the middle is a B flat chord, F, B flat, D, and F. Bum, 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 ba, bum, bum. So watch that. One and two and 1, 2, 3 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 2 and bum 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 bum. From here, we're going to move to a C7 chord, which is basically we're not going to actually play C in it, but you're playing C in the bass. So what you're going to do is you're going to play octave G's, you're going to play a B flat here and an E here, and it's just going to be bum 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 bum. So same rhythm, but we're not going to move to a different chord in the middle. It's just bum 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 bum. Okay, so watch the whole thing. Watch the right hand all the way from the beginning of the verse to that spot. Watch where we're going. Back to a G. Okay, so take a look at that one more time, that entire line. With the left hand in place, and the left hand is the keeper of time for you because it's just going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So take a look at how this is working together. Again. Okay, let me play that even a little bit slower for you and take a good peek at it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then you repeat it. So you play through that twice. Let me play it once without contorting my fingers. I try to do that so you can see the notes that I'm playing and not be confused, but I also want you to see what it looks like when you're, because I don't expect you to be playing it like this. It's kind of painful, to be honest with you. So here you go. This is what it looks like. I'll still play it slow. Okay, now from here, we move to a D minor 7 chord, which you move to D's in your left hand, and then you're going to play A, C, D, and F. And it's just, again, bum, 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 ba, bum, bum. So it's the same rhythm. So watch the whole line all the way through to that D minor, and that's the last thing before you start the chorus, which we'll do in the next section. So watch the whole line a couple of times slow. Once again, even a little slower. Okay, again without my fingers contorted. And if you pick up the pace, then you get okay? Pretty cool line. It's getting late. Have you seen my mates? Well, tell me when the boys get here. It's 7 o'clock and I wanna rock. Won't get a belly full of beer. You know, so it works pretty well. Now, it's also something that might happen to you is that you might have the urge. We're starting on the count of 1 on each time. 1, 2, 3, and da. 1, 2, 3. It may happen to you just on accident because you're doing so much syncopating that you come in on the and of 4, for instance. You go subtle difference, it's fine. Do it that way if that's where your hand wants to go. It works just fine either way. You know, so you can go 1, 2, 3, and 2, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, or you can go 1, 2, and 2, and 2. You know, that's fine. It doesn't matter. Either way will work fine. I like it both ways. And again, Elton is not going to play it the same way. That is just not what he does. He is more than capable of picking a lane and going with it, of course, but his style is very much for it to be a little bit more open. He doesn't like being stuck into a box. So that's the nature of playing Elton John music. So feel free to use this as a blueprint, and then if your mind, either by accident or on purpose, takes you somewhere else with it, feel free to explore it. If you like the sound of it, go with it. If you don't like the sound of it, don't go with it. But, you know, to use your own creativity is very much in the spirit of what Sir Elton John does. Okay. In the next segment, we're going to take a look at what we do when we start singing the chorus. You know, don't give us none of your aggravation. We had it with your discipline. All right. So I'll see you there. Okay, well, let's take a look at what we do when we get into the chorus here. This is what I'm going to be teaching you to do. Okay, that's how far we're going to go. So, again, the fun section. This is something where, you know, all of Elton's normal rules apply, which is there are no rules, but this is a technique I can show you that'll give you definitely a good feel for what's happening, and then you can expand upon it as you wish, as you grow as a player, or, you know, depending on how much experience you already have. So, what's going on in the left hand first? Well, the left hand goes into a little walking pattern. This is a walking pattern, by the way, that I teach in my Become Your Own Rhythm section series. If you want to know more about that, that's a really good series for people to learn rhythm patterns, not just with one hand, but with both, that you can apply to all kinds of songs. And what it's doing is it's going like this. Okay, so what are these notes? Well, we've moved down and we go into we start on C, and you want to be on a low C. Now you can do this in octaves if you like. I personally think it gets a little muddy and doesn't sound very good when you're going. I also think you lose the fluidity, and I think that I think not having it too choppy is more important myself than having it thicker. But anyway, so I would go, here's your middle C, you're 2 octaves below that. And I would be playing it thumb, middle, ring, middle, thumb. So it's C, A, G, A, C. For those of you who are familiar with the parts of a scale, it's 1, 6, 5, 6, 1. And you can apply that pattern 1, 6, 5, 6, 1, 6, 5, 6, 1, 6, 5, 6 in any key, by the way. It's a useful technique. So 1, it's C, A, G, A, C, A, G, A. Then it moves to B flat. And it's B flat, G, F, G, B flat, G, F, G. From here it moves to F. And it's F, D, C, D, F, D, C, D. Then you're back to C, A, G, A, C, A, G, A. So that's the pattern that we're going to follow. So watch it in context. Let me give you a tempo. So we're going to do it a little slower. full tempo would be, bum. Don't give us none of your aggravation. We had it with your discipline. Okay. So what we're going to be looking at is 1, 2, 3, 4, and it is on quarter notes, so it looks like this. Okay, so that's the pattern, and then you just repeat it. So you play through that whole thing twice. Pretty straightforward. Then again, okay, because the way that the chorus, I believe, let me make sure in my head, yeah. Don't give us none of your aggravation. Da 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 da. Da 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 na 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 da na 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 na. Then again, yes. Dun dun. Okay, and then we'll work on the transition when you go, all right, we'll work on that in the next segment. So that's all that's happening in the left hand. What is the right hand doing? Well, the right hand is doing a little technique that goes, okay, ba 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 ba. Okay, so what am I doing? Well, I'm forming a C7 chord, which is G, B flat, E, and G. These are the notes that I'm playing. You could do this in any inversion of the chord that you want. This is what I think sounds good. What you're going to do is you're going to take the top 3 notes of the chord, B flat, E, and G, and you're going to be doing a little toggling back and forth between your thumbs. So it's like ba 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 ba. Da 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 da. Does that make sense? Well, I mean, I can't hear you if you say yes, but I'm going to assume it makes sense. Sorry. This is one of the few limitations of a video piano lesson. I go, you see? Because that makes sense. And then, of course, the minute I say it, I feel like a total dupe, because how could you? How could you respond to me? Anyway, sorry. So we're coming in syncopated. We're coming in on the and of 4. So we've been going in that last section. We're going dun da 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 dun. Okay, so bum 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 ba 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 ba. All right, that's just a little context of how you come into it. Ba da 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 da. And because it comes in syncopated on the and of 4, and this comes in on 1, you actually play here just a split second before your left hand comes down. Ba da 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 ba da 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 da. So anyway, that's just a little bit of how the rhythm works, but let's go through the rest of the notes. And then we move down to a B flat 7 chord, and you're going to play A flat, D, and F up here, and toggle with an F down on your thumb. Ba da 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 da. So. Let me play that a little slower. So then we're going to move to an F7 chord, and for ease of where it is, for ease of playing where your hand already is, I like to do it here. If we were going to follow the same inversion, then we'd literally have to move clear up here and go. So it'd be like, we'd go. I like that inversion of the chord, but one, it sounds a little weird to have to, we're playing in this range, and then all of a sudden you're clear up here. And two, it's a pain, it's a pain to be here and then that's kind of a pain to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to stay in the same range in the piano and do this technique in a different inversion of that chord. So for F, we're going to play it here, C, E flat, and F, and then you're toggling on this A right here. Ba da 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 da. And then we're back to C. Okay, so take a look at that whole line, and I'm going to play it slow a few times so you can see where it's all fitting together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then you play that again. So I'll actually play through it twice, just like you would in the song now, and I'll do it slow. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and da 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 da. Again. Again, or F. Okay, so kind of get that down. Take a look at the bass line here. C, A, G, A, C. Watch the 2 in action slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, again, let me play through that. Now I'm going to uncontort my hands. I'll still play it slow, but take a look what it looks like without my hands all, screwy. 2, 3, 4. My bad. Now notice I'm going dun and dun and dun dun on the second time through. And I'm just holding it. Why? Because I'm going to show you what we do after that in the next segment. So we're just going to get that far for right now, and then I'll show you what to do and we'll string it together. So one more time. I'll recontort my hand so you can see it. We're going to play it through just a few times so you can get a feel for what's happening. And I'm going to come out of the last section that we learned, out of the end of the verse, so that you can see how this starts, you know, where it comes from. So we're going along here. We've gone... Okay, now let me slow that down just a little bit. Here we go. Okay, I just want to take a look at that transition here, you see, so you're going... Notice the timing. I'm going to count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, okay? We're going to slow it down, but just watch. This comes in on 4 and, okay? So we're going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and da 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 da. So ba bum ba 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 and 2 and 3 da. Okay, that's very important. I think very important rhythmically. Ba 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 Okay, so Just go through it a couple more times here, slow, uncontorting my fingers, and then we'll move on to what you play next. So once again, coming out of the previous segment, we're gone. Okay, except that's at full speed. Let me slow that down just a little bit. Got a little ahead of myself. Okay, here we go, starting. Bum. Even a little bit slower this time. Here we go. And yeah. There you go, and in the next section we're going to look at where we pick up from there. I will see you there. Okay, well now what we're going to take a look at is we've just gone Saturday night's alright, we'll find Saturday night's alright, and when we go alright, woo, that whole thing, okay? So what's happening is we've gone okay, so that's kind of what we're going to be learning here. So what happens? We've just gotten through going, take a look at the left hand. We were just going da 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 2 3 4 1 bum 1 2 3 4 1 and so the important thing is to think of it as like this: 1 2 3 4 1 and 2, you know, 1 and 1. You know. It's that rhythm: 1 2 3 4 1 and dun 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 dun. You know, think of the Blues Brothers. That you know, bum 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 bum. You know, that whole, that's a real good way to remember how this rhythm goes. Bum ba bum 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 ba bum bum bum. So we've been playing here. We go to octaves and it's E, E, F, F sharp, G, G. It's actually 1 2 3 4 1 and 1 2 3 4. So when you play G, you're actually going to play this G 5 times, but the 1 is just kind of a pickup. So it's like, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me kind of tap out a rhythm here. 2, 3, 4. Again. Ah, my bad. From there, you go to E flats. 1, 2, then down to D, 3, 4, C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. That's what the left hand is up to. A little tip, it may not be comfortable for you at first, but if you train yourself when you do octaves on black keys to use thumb and your 4th finger as opposed to your pinky, like that, it does help with the flow. And the same is true when you're doing it in your right hand, rather than just playing it like this, play it like that. Especially if you have to do runs where you're going, it's a lot easier to do it, you see. So, just a little, you know, what I would call mechanical tip there. Not necessary. If you're comfortable doing it in octaves with pinky and thumb, then go for it. I'm not here to tell you to do something you're uncomfortable with, but sometimes it can help with smoothness. So, here we go. So what's going on in the right hand? Well, the right hand's kind of mirroring it quite a bit. So we've gone da 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 bum 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 ba bum bum. Okay. Ba ba da ba 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 boom. Okay, so watch the two hands together here. A C chord. So one bum 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 ba bum bum bum. So, dun 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 dun. Now you form this familiar chord, this G power. So octave, 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 power. From there, when we go to this E flat thing, here's an E flat chord, G, B flat, E flat, and G. Bum, 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 bum. And it's a D minor 7, so A, C, D, and F. So it's bum, 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 bum. And then we're back to our C7 chord. These octave G's with B flat and E in the middle. Okay, so take a look at my right hand. I'm just going to do this real slow. We've been going. And you remember that ba bum bum ba bum over the top of these octave quarter notes. Okay, so again. Once again. Sorry, I'll do it a little cleaner this time. Once again. Without contorting my hands. Now from here, bum, 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 bum. We go to a G power, and in your left hand it's just G, 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 E, okay? And then it's D, F, G, 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 G. Okay, so G, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, da, da. Now, if you're on an 88 key piano, you could play octaves here. Bum. I just don't happen to have a low D down here to play, but you could go D, D, F, D, F, G, G. Okay? You could jump up an octave if you're on 76 like I am, but I think it gets a little bit. You can do it. I think it's kind of a pain. You're jumping your hand around quite a bit, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 4, 1. D, F, G, G. And how's that rhythm? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 1. 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 1. So ba 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 da 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 ba 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 ba. In the right hand, you play this power chord, bum. I would play, what I do is I come down on it on 1 and I just hold it, bum, and then my thumb, I'm playing on offbeat, so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and da 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 da. But ever so slightly. I don't want it to be. I don't want it to be that noticeable. But what it is doing by just just gives it ever so little bit of pace. So we've gone bum, bum. Now in the right hand, when we go here, you're going to be playing power chords, a little power chord here. It's D and A, bum, like this, bum, bum. Then F and C, and then your full G power with the octave in there. So watch that slower here. Okay, again. Okay, so watch this. I'll play it once or twice more slow, and then I'm going to do the whole line. Oh, excuse me. Okay, once again. So the entire line we've been coming out of okay, so we were doing that, and it goes again. Ups. Let me uncontort my fingers and take a look at it here. couple more times slow through that, and then we'll move on. Okay, one last time, and then I'm going to move on to a new section. In the next section, we're going to look at these kinds of that part. So I'll see you there. Okay, well now we're going to hit the famous guitar solo that mirrors the whole Saturday part. And I know I have a really great falsetto voice, don't I? Saturday. I sound like a Muppet. Anyway, but this is actually one of the easier parts of the song, but it's kind of fun. We're here in the key, or we're here playing on C. The left hand is just going to be playing dun do three four one, and it's C, 2, then B flat, then F, C. And again, you repeat it. And again, B flat, there we go. Then F, C, and then it goes up to D minor 7 chord. Okay, so what's happening in the right hand is what's important. What we're going to do is, here's your middle C, you're going to jump up, form an F chord on this F, which is 2 Fs above middle C. Okay, A, C, and F like that, and it's da-da-dum. So we're coming down to a C chord, which is G, C, and E. Okay, then we're going to form an E flat chord over your B flat bass, and it's G, B flat, and E flat. And we come down to a B flat chord, F, B flat, and D. Now we have a B flat chord, which is F, B flat, and D over this F bass, and we resolve to this F chord, F, A, and C. And then we're back to where we started. So take a peek at that in context all the way through. I'll slow it down here a little bit. Again. And again, da da da, as I was talking about in the intro. Not quite staccato, but it does have one of these little guys under it. You want to ba da da, accent it and get off of it. Da da da, 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 da da da. Okay, now the second time through we jump up and we invert all the chords again. So it's here. F chord is formed C, F, A, and you resolve to this C chord, C, E, G. So then we go. And then here's your new E flat chord, B flat, E flat, G. And it resolves to B flat here, B flat, D, and F. And then here's your B flat chord, B flat, D, F. And there's your F chord, F, A, or A, C, and F. Then back to here. And then we come down and do the same thing we've been doing. Bum, 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 bum. Only on a D minor chord. So A, C, D, and F. Bum, 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 bum. And then we're ready to go back into a chorus. So watch this whole line play out a few times in slower motion. Okay, without my fingers contorted. Here you go. One more time. One final time, and then we're going to move on. Okay, we're going to take a look at some ways that you can end the song in the next section. See you there. Well, okay, we have now learned all the things in this song that you need to learn to play it. So what we're going to do now is a little wrap up, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to play them so that you can see how all the different pieces we've learned fit together into the song, and I'm going to show you how you can end it, okay? And then we'll sign out of this tutorial. So it starts out with the introduction that we learned. Sorry about that. Then we're here. To a chorus. And then we have this. Now we do this guy. Back to a verse. So see how that bum 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 bum. That's the beginning of the verse. Now back to a chorus here. Now we go here. Another chorus from here. So we're here. Here we go right back to now. That's the last little thing before you start actually singing Saturday, Saturday. Now what I do on that is I do this, what we were doing, so you played here, and then we go up to our little, right? right? Now I play that, only I play it an octave lower when I'm actually singing Saturday, 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 Saturday night's alright. Okay, because you're singing it over the top. So that's what I do, a combination of playing it here, which is the same thing as up here except an octave lower, and then I might play it up here once, and then I might play it here. So it's just, when you're singing Saturday, Saturday, it's the same thing as that instrumental solo, and you just play variations on it as you wish. You go through it 3 times. So again, let's go. Heading into the last one, here's the solo. You start singing Saturday, Saturday. Saturday, 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 Saturday night's alright. Again, so you go through it 3 times. Saturday, Saturday night's alright. Now from there it just goes into, it's an instrumental period where the song fades out in the recording, and they just go into what you'd play during the chorus. So this is where you can do lots of Jerry Lee Lewis type stuff. Now, there isn't really a particular lick to teach you, because it's just a kind of everyone does a free-for-all solo. But what I can tell you is, what I would do, one thing you could definitely do is take this what you're doing in the right hand, jump it an octave or 2. That in and of itself makes it sound like you're playing a piano solo, and you just do that for a few rotations. So you can do it here. Now jump an octave. And then other things you can do is just take these 7th chords and start going. Just play 8th notes. When you play 8th notes on a 7th chord in a high range, you'd be surprised. People think that you're playing Great Balls of Fire every time. Another thing that you can do that's kind of good help is you can do things like this. Pick a note out of your chord, for example, and find a way to toggle into it. So like let's say that you wanted to take the B flat. Well, you take the note that's a half step below it, and you play it 1 dot dot dot. For instance, that's one place. You could do it here. I don't really care where you do it, but that's something you can do to add a little character to these 8th note things. And every so often change octaves, you know, I mean, and do the same thing, only, you know, just change octaves. And then you can throw in things like, just take these chords. What Elton tends to do is just take chords and do fun things. He's not really playing anything that he wasn't already playing in terms of the notes. He's just going bump, ba-da-da-bum, bump, ba-da-da. So it's like a bump, ba-da-da-da, you know. You know, so just those three things alone, if you just mix them up and jump a few octaves, I mean, you can pretty much keep playing the same chord, just do different things with it, and bada bing, bada boom, you've got yourself a solo. When you're finally ready to be done, just go ba-da-dumped, ba-da-dum. So when you're finally da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and then it's C-C-C, C-C-C, and you just have this little guy that you know how to go ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum, or you could do it here ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum. That's how I tend to end it. Saturday, Saturday, boom, and you're out. So that's kind of, the end is kind of a free-for-all. Those are just some ideas of what you can do. But if you're confused, just play the same thing you've been playing. Then take the same thing, play it up an octave. Again. Then end it. And there you go. That's the whole song. So, fun tune to play. Not really the most complicated thing in the whole wide world, but really, really a lot of fun. When you get these rhythm patterns down, then they're applicable to all kinds of music that you can play from like the 50s and the early 60s too. So it's kind of cool, kind of a good training tool. If you like this song, then you can actually learn how to play a number of other things based on what you'll learn from learning this song. So very good stuff. Love Elton John, love this tune, love to play this tune live, and it's been a real pleasure to teach this tutorial. I just want to, as always, point out to you, if you're stumped by something, just take it one note at a time, one chord at a time, one tiny section at a time, and master some small 10-second clip of it. You don't need to know all of it at once. Every single thing that's got you stumped is nothing more than a collection of notes, and if you can do this, then you can do this. If you can play one note, you can learn how to play 3 and 4 notes at a time. And that's the thing. Just keep working a little at a time. The journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. Your brain will eventually pick it up. I promise you, if you give it the time that it needs. So, and the consistency of the practice. So thank you so much. I've had a lot of fun, as I always do. And you guys are my heroes. I love it that there are so many adults. I mean, some of you are younger, but really, for the most part, the people buying these videos are adults. And the fact that you have the courage to keep trying to grow and learn things is really inspirational to me, because a lot of people are just pretty much sticks in the mud, and they think that they've long past their time to be able to learn something new. So thank you for defying that conventional wisdom. If you're not having fun when you're making music, remember, you're doing it wrong. This is all about enjoyment, and just ease back and go with the flow on this and enjoy the journey, okay? And I'll see you on the next one. Sorry, I just kind of ran out of things to say, but I always like to say at the end, like I just did, if you're not having fun when you're making music, you're doing it wrong. I'm Piano Man Steve. I will see you on the next tutorial, and I'm signing out right now.